I want to talk a little bit about something I've talked about 50 billion times. And yes, I'm being hyperbolic. And that's about managing time. And the reason I'm bringing this up, a lot of times when I bring up topics like this, is because someone will ask me a question. Sometimes people are just flat out rude about it, but some people are just curious. Like this last person was simply curious why I don't just buy local cream and make my own butter instead of buying my butter and my cream through Azure Standard and getting the organic. Well, that's easy. That's easy to answer because getting local cream and butter is pretty much non-existent. It is very difficult. I mean, we live very remotely. All right. There are people out here who have goats and sheep and cattle, but getting a reliable source for these things is incredibly difficult. Time you think you might have a reliable source, suddenly you don't. And I sort of gave up even trying to look anymore. And we don't have the means and currently the desire to have dairy animals. If I had dairy animals, you darn tootin' better know that, yes, I'd be having all my own milk, making my own butter, and making all my own cheese. And the reason I'm bringing this up, again, is not just to answer that question about myself, but to remind people that not everybody can do everything out there. And in fact, all of the people that are doing the most that you might see on YouTube still purchase things. They still have to buy stuff. And here's the reason why. So even people with acres and acres of property and plenty of money to invest in getting their infrastructure in place still are not 100% self-sufficient. I like people to understand this fact that no matter how self-sufficient any one person thinks they are or acts like they are, and then makes other people feel like they're lame because they're not doing everything they're doing, it doesn't matter how self-sufficient they are, they're not 100%. And I don't think there's any way really, well, I'm not going to say that. There probably is a way. It would take a lot of work and a lot of time to develop yourself to a point where you never, ever, ever, and you'd have to live in the exact right place where you can grow things year round and grow all the things that you personally are going to use. You need to be able to grow your own trees, get your own lumber mill so that you can mill up the trees so you can build your own stuff. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now for us, we have a lumber mill. Patrick can mill up boards and make all kinds of stuff, and he has. But we don't always have the access to all the trees. Currently, yes, on our mountain piece of property, but there's a lot of people that do a whole bunch of other stuff. Maybe they have all the dairy animals and all this and all that, and they can grow every kind of fruit and vegetable you can imagine, unlike us, because of where we live and our climate. But they probably don't have a lumber mill or know how to run it, if they did, and know how to take the wood and to create things out of it. My point in this is that when you're looking at your own self, you got to make sure there's two things. When you're comparing yourself to others, never allow yourself to feel pressured to be like them. Follow their lead on the things that make sense. Listen to their advice and do what is going to fit into your lifestyle and is going to work for you. We can grow lots of berries and apples, but there's a ton of other fruit that doesn't like growing here. It's very difficult finding things like cherry trees and peach trees that will do well here. Blackberries are, in our area, are considered a noxious weed, where for other areas, they have to fight and struggle to get it to grow. So you can't always compare yourself to everyone else and feel like that either you have to be like them or feel like you're a loser or a failure, because it's not working for you to do that, or because you don't have the funds or the space to have dairy animals. These are massive investments. They're investments that will pay for themselves over time, but they are investments. Like, here's an example. I saw this funny little video of this woman that had chickens. And she's like, she's showing all her chickens. She's showing her nice little coop. She's showing all this stuff. And she says, yeah, I think we're probably, we're getting our eggs are probably costing us about $1,000 for a carton. I mean, she was also being hyperbolic. It was funny, but you get it, because chickens they're like the easiest farm animal to have, one of the easiest. Quail might be easier. I don't know by experience, but from talking to those who do have quail, they're probably a little bit easier and less money invested into them. But everything to get the infrastructure in place, like when you got chickens, you want to make sure they're well protected. And so you want to have a good coop, things that raccoons and weasels can't dig under. This is why our coop has a foundation to it. Or something where the raccoons can't just pull the boards off the side of the coop, which that's happened to people around here. You want to know that your chickens are going to be safe. And so that's going to take money and or time. And not everybody has that kind of money up front to invest. And no one should ever feel guilty because they're not there. And the things you choose to do, I mean, I think I just talked about something similar to this when I was talking about what you choose to grow, but now I'm applying this to just the whole thing about being self-sufficient. The things you choose to invest in and the things you choose to tackle and the skills, like making soap is a really good one, because a lot of people just aren't ready to tackle that one yet. Or even pressure canning. I get it, because I was there. It took me a while for both of those. And then once I finally did it, I was hooked. But it can be a scary process when you're trying something new for the first time. So not only do you have the investment up front of having to like get a canner or get the stuff for making soap and etc., then you got to get over the fear. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is your time. So your time is valuable. Now, for me, I'm going to go back to the milk thing. I have a lot of milk powder put up, milk powder that I bought. And, through the years, the brand has changed depending on what was available, because more and more different brands started becoming available. Then I finally was able to get the organic whole A2 cow's milk from Azure Standard. And the nice thing I like about the A2, though that's not as important to us because we're not sensitive to any of that stuff in milk, but having something like that on hand in case somebody is good to know. Is it expensive? Yes, but it's also expensive for me to buy organic whole milk, and it's going to add to the cost for me to take the time to dehydrate it. Now, like today, I got stuff dehydrating back here on solar power. So electricity wise, it might not cost me anymore, but time wise, it does. So you got to, when you're looking at all these things and you're saying, oh, well, so-and-so does all this for themselves. Well, that's great. That's great. You might do all this stuff for yourself and I don't, but I don't have dairy animals. Again, if I had dairy animals, not only would I be making the butter and the cheese and the yogurt from that, I would also be dehydrating a bunch of it up and putting it up and not having to buy it from Azure Standard. So there's always going to be a give and take. And so you got to choose what's going to fit into your time. So not just your pocketbook, not just the space you have, not just your infrastructure, but your time, because your time is valuable. All right. And my time is valuable for sure. And so, well, I say that like I'm saying it's more valuable than yours. And I don't ever mean to sound that way. I'm just saying, I know what my time is like. with my grandbabies and with my garden and my chickens. And whenever there's a nice day like today, I want to be making the most of it out in the garden. And so that is valuable time. The time that it would take me to mess around with the milk that isn't going to really save me money in the long run, that time could be spent working more in my garden, getting more of the weeds out, or at least the things that are overtaking the garden, or thinking of better ways to do things in my garden, making better plans, and realizing that, hey, I don't think this coconut squash is going to be such a good idea after all. I'm going to take this space and use it for something better. I don't want to be wasting space with that. So now I got to do a little reworking out there and rethinking and replanning, because I have limited space. So I need to plan accordingly so I'm not wasting that space. I've got several videos on time management in general, but this is speaking mostly just about self-sufficiency. What are your goals? You got to set your own goals. They shouldn't be Deep South Homestead's goals, Rain Country Homestead's goals, Doug and Stacy's goals, American Homestead's goals. Learn what you can from each of your favorite channels, or at least those that are still talking about homesteading and self-sufficiency. And, take the bits and pieces that apply to you, but never, ever, ever feel like you have to be just like any one of them or like me, because it's guaranteed that you're already doing some things that I don't, and vice versa. And we're all going to have our different reasons that why we do things or don't do things the way we do. And they're going to all be valid for each person. So not only am I saying to you guys, don't judge yourself harshly because you're not like so-and-so. Be careful you're also not judging someone else who's not like you, because everybody's going to have their reasons why they do or don't do different things. And we can all learn and grow from each other. I mean, I still have things I have not tried yet that I keep saying I'm going to try. It's a matter of remembering, but not just remembering, but remembering when and if I actually have the time to try it. I've been listening to a lot of people talking about the current money situation. And it's really kind of scary how many people are just getting into debt and they don't even care. They're going on these vacations and have no idea how much money they have. So they're charging everything. And they're not even paying attention to how much they're charging. It's people of all ages. It's young people clear up until elderly people in their 70s and 80s they don't have any retirement because they wasted so much money when they were young and didn't consider their future. It's really sad. And so with that said, though, all of this stuff that we talk about, all the stuff that we try to teach and we try to learn from each other has to do with preparing for our future. We don't all know if Social Security is even going to be there for us when we finally get to collect it. Patrick he's turning 62 this year. He just got this email saying, you could start collecting when you turn 62. And it's like, man, do you gamble with trying to collect it early, knowing it might not be there later? But then now that's that much less that you're not going to be getting per month because they're going to cut it down. It's going to be less than what you could get if you waited. I mean, these are a lot of decisions we have to make, and you have to realize that, and people, our kids' age, they better not think that there's going to be retirement for them. They're going to have to build their own retirement. And when you start doing things for yourself and putting up your own, growing a garden, then taking that and putting these things up, that's a retirement. That can be a retirement investment. right there, and getting the chickens and all these different things. With all this happening out there, it's, I didn't mean to get on that topic, but it really does go hand in hand that we have to assume, no matter what age you are right now, that retirement may not always be there. That Social Security may not always be there for you. So find ways to better your life and get yourself as self-sufficient as you can. But again, not trying to be like everyone else, but like what is going to work for you, your spouse, etc. Thanks for coming in. Take care, and God bless.